The year is 1872. In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, the Mary Celeste is a perfectly sound ship, sailing smoothly, but completely deserted. This is one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. Why did the 10-man crew abandon a ship still fully stocked with cargo and provisions? And where did they go? Today, Vault of Shadows will explore the eerie voyage of the ghost ship, Mary Celeste. The year is 1872. The commercial brigantine Mary Celeste was the pride of New York, a sturdy, seaworthy vessel commanded by Captain Benjamin Briggs Morelman, devoted to his family and highly experienced. On November 7, 1872, the Mary Celeste departed New York, carrying 1,700 barrels of raw alcohol, a highly valuable cargo, bound for Genoa, Italy. Aboard were 10 souls: Captain Briggs, his wife Sarah, their young daughter Sophia, and 7 seasoned crewmen. A normal commercial journey, with no indication of peril. But 4 weeks later, the Mary Celeste was found. It hadn't sunk, it hadn't crashed. The ship was still sailing, gliding over the waves. But not a single soul was on board. What happened to the 10 people on the vessel? Where did they go, and why? The disappearance of the Mary Celeste is one of the greatest mysteries of the ocean. Vault of Shadows will search for answers aboard this famous ghost ship. December 5th, 1872. 400 miles east of the Azores Islands, the British brigantine Dei Gratia was en route from New York to Gibraltar. Captain David Morehouse noticed a ship sailing erratically in the distance. It was the Mary Celeste. Its sails were partly tattered, but the vessel was entirely seaworthy. Captain Morehouse dispatched 3 crewmen, led by First Mate Oliver DeVoe, to investigate. The feeling on the deck of the Mary Celeste was one of bone-chilling silence. There was not a single sound, no signs of violence or struggle. It seemed everyone had simply ... left. Mate DeVoe noticed a few alarming details. A broken rope dangling outside. The foresail was unsecured, and the ship's only lifeboat was missing. As the crew of the Dei Gratia searched inside the Mary Celeste, they discovered a terrifying contradiction. First, the cargo. The 1,700 barrels of raw alcohol were intact, with no sign of plunder. If pirates had struck, the cargo would have been taken. Second, personal property. Captain Briggs' money, jewelry, and personal belongings were untouched in his cabin. Sarah's sewing machine was even set up. Third, daily life. In the galley, an unfinished meal was left unattended. A teapot was reportedly still warm, according to some accounts. This suggests the event happened very suddenly and abruptly. Finally, and most chillingly, the ship's log stopped on November 25th, 10 days before it was found. The last entry showed no signs of panic. In summary, 10 people abandoned a perfectly seaworthy ship, leaving behind money and food, taking only 1 lifeboat. Why would an experienced captain risk his family's lives to leave his vessel? After the Dei Gratia brought the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, an official inquiry was launched. The Admiralty Court's prosecutor, Frederick Soley Flood, immediately suspected fraud and murder. Flood suggested that the captain of the Dei Gratia had killed the Mary Celeste's crew to claim the salvage reward. He focused on a sword with a red stain, later proven to be rust found in Briggs' cabin, and deep cuts on the ship's rail. However, there was no evidence of blood. The Dei Gratia crew were released. The Mary Celeste was sold and continued to sail. The investigation concluded with one final, haunting determination. The crew was mysteriously missing. The failure to find an official cause transformed the Mary Celeste from a criminal case into a ghost ship legend. Theories began to emerge, each one more sensational than the last. Investigators, historians, and the curious have proposed countless theories to explain the simultaneous disappearance of the 10 people. Theory 1. Alcohol vapors and explosion. This is the most scientifically accepted theory. The 1,700 barrels of raw alcohol could have produced volatile vapors. A minor disruption could have caused the vapors to accumulate and trigger a minor, non-flaming explosion. This blast was loud enough to shake the ship and convince Briggs that the vessel was about to explode or sink. In a panic, Briggs would have quickly ordered everyone into the lifeboat, tethering the small boat to the Mary Celeste with a line. But high waves or strong winds could have snapped the line, casting the lifeboat adrift. Theory 2. Pirates or sea monster. This is the most popular theory in folklore. However, the untouched cargo and lack of violence rule out pirates. The sea monster theory Kraken is unfounded. Another possibility is a waterspout. A giant column of water could have struck the Mary Celeste, flooding the deck and leading Briggs to fear severe damage, prompting an immediate evacuation. The truth about the Mary Celeste is likely simpler than we imagine, a combination of human error and a moment of stark panic. Captain Briggs may have simply missed the lifeboat detached, would have drifted away with the 10 souls. They likely perished from cold, hunger, or were swept away by waves just hours after leaving the Mary Celeste. The most haunting aspect is not what killed them, but the absolute silence left on the ship. The Mary Celeste remains a perfect relic of an event that no one survived to recount.